After the first Edo UK summit, the relationship between the Edo diaspora and the Edo State government is in a real positive mood. And now it's NAFEST. And guess who is here to tell us about it? Mr. Commissioner himself.
How you doing, bro?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Commissioner, it must be very busy for you working in this administration that is trying to revive the rich Edo culture and tradition. And your ministry is right in the heart of it.
Yeah, well, I'm happy doing the job. It's interesting, it's busy, it's how will I put it, it's time consuming, it's very demanding. Well, I'm happy doing the job and quite happy with the way people have embraced it as well, and all these supports, you know, from His Royal Majesty, Edo, you know, and other chiefs, and even the governor, and, you know, my colleagues as well. So I think it's been very interesting. It just depends on the head, on the focus of the governor and all that. And you know, I've said it several times that when this administration came into power, His Excellency Godwin Osaze, the executive governor of Edo State, you know, had various summits, various committees, various meetings, and with that he was able to select 6 focal points of his government, for his government. And one of the 6 focal points, or systematic pillars of his government, were culture and tourism, because he knows the value of culture and tourism to Edo State. He knows how important how that is, and he knows that God used culture, you know, and our heritage to bless Edo State so much. So I'm sure that's why things are working.
Forgive me, but us from the diaspora, we saw it looks like there's been a lot of festivals in Benin attributed to this administration. So we've gone through the Okpeke race, you know. It's NAFEST, before I start talking about it, what's the difference between NAFEST and stuff like the Okpeke race?
EdoFest.
EdoFest.
Yeah. Yes, like you said, when our focus, when I came into office barely 2.5 years ago, the focus was to reawaken our culture, because we had the objective. My objective was to reawaken our culture in the first segment of the state, of the government. So our focus was to open the book, look at our festivals, you know, no matter how remote or how small it is, and blow it out of proportion and let people embrace it. So we started with there was this Abba Drum Festival in Akoko Edo. That was 2 years ago, August.
Yeah.
They do this every 6 years, or 7 years if it's a leap year. You know, so they come out with their special drum. They've been doing it for over 300 years. These are the Akoko Edo people in Igara. Yeah. So when we came aboard in July, that was the first assignment. So I went to Akoko Edo, met with the traditional rulers, met with the family and the custodians of the drum, and discussed with them. So we went on air, partner with them. And because of government involvement in that, it went viral, it went very well accepted. A lot of families flew in from Canada and America, UK, Europe, just because they saw that the government was part of it. And that's been a huge, contributed huge success story. Then the next one was EdoFest, 2017. They've not been able to do EdoFest for many years in that capacity that we did. So we decided to bring the 18 local governments together to celebrate our culture, what God has blessed us with. Like I keep saying it, Edo State is richly blessed with a lot of cultural heritage that is second to none in the world.
Yes.
We are blessed, we're endowed with that. And when the opportunity came for NAFEST 2019, we went for it.
Let me
pushed for it, and that's what we're having today.
Let me quickly talk about the interview. The reason why the commissioner is in London is to talk to us in the diaspora about NAFEST, how we can participate, how our businesses and everybody can key into this. The word NAFEST, it stands for the
National Festival of Art and Culture.
Is this the first time it's been held in Edo State, or is it the first time this festival is being held at all?
We actually the whole idea of celebrating our culture, because I think after the Civil War, You know, the government then we're looking at ways to unite our people. And the only way, things that you can really unite our people all over, you know, our country, as a country, and probably all over the world is culture and sports. And they've been doing this for the past 40 years. And this is the 32nd edition.
Within Nigeria?
Yeah, within Nigeria. Every state hosts a movie from state to state. And this is the 32nd edition. And the first time Edo State is hosted.
The 32nd edition?
And the first time Edo State is hosted.
These things form the bedrock of so many cultural revival that will serve economic purpose within the state.
Yeah. The whole idea is not just celebrating our culture and not showcasing what God has blessed us with. The whole idea of this, you know, when the governor is an economic man, and he believes that once you bring people into your state, either celebrating sports or culture or festival or any activities, you're boosting the economy of that state.
Yes.
We're expecting over 1 million people to come into Edo State for that 1 week event. And of course, each of them going to come with little less than 100 or 200,000 naira
To spend.
And by the time they're leaving, the money is stayed in
Stays in the state.
You know, so our people, there's a lot of value chain benefit for this. You know, when they come there, of course, they're going to stay in the hotel.
Yes.
So the people in the hospitality business benefit from it.
Yes.
They're going to use transportation, the people, you know, transportation business, the small, medium entrepreneurs, our brothers and sisters that sells pure water,
Yes.
sweets, food, you know, just name it.
There will be an economic boost during the period of the
course. And again, we targeted, our target this time is to make sure our broadcasters make a lot of money from this. The famous Edo Street,
Okay.
like, you know, the bronze.
Oh, the good bronze casters.
Yes, so that is one of the venue for this event. So every evening we're going to have a live band, take all the guests to Edo Street to sit down, have a drink, and they can patronize our Edo Street people, the broadcasters.
I want to, the commissioner is very quick for me, but I'll still go back and ask him this set of questions. Now, in terms of agenda, the NAFEST starts from, it says here the 19th of October to the 26th.
Yes.
Is it one location?
No. The opening ceremony, I mean, people coming on the 19th, then accreditation, registration starts on the 19th. 20th, 19th and 20th. Then on the 21st will be the opening ceremony.
Held where?
Held in Bowa Sports Complex. The plan was to use the Ogbe Stadium, but it's not going to be ready by then. So we're going to use the Bowa Sports Complex, where we have a lot of activities. Having our guest artist, Two-Face.
Yes.
He's a national figure. Then we have our own local.
We have seen some.
Vito Waifu.
Great man.
Okay, I don't know if you saw what happened during the cultural event in Edinburgh, Scotland, a few months ago when you have the Nigerian.
Yes, the army display.
They are coming.
They're coming.
On the opening ceremony.
Great,
So the chief of army staff has approved the governor's request for them to come, so they're going to be there. So those of us that were looking at it on the clip, we really have opportunity to view it live in Benin.
Okay.
So that will be on the 21st. Then from 22nd, we have the Obakenzwa Cultural Center, which is being renovated now, being beautified to class standard. That will be the festival village. So all the activities, you know, you have the competitive and non-competitive events.
Yes.
So all those will happen in the Obakenzwa Cultural Center from morning till evening.
Every day.
Every day.
From the 22nd to the
Yes.
and
from
then
the 22nd to the 25th.
So you close most of the activities will take place in
Obakenzwa Cultural Center. There will be theater, there will be drama, there will be wrestling, there will be judo. All the competitive activities will take place there. Then every evening, we'll move everybody to Edo Street. There'll be a live band and a DJ, you know, and drink up and everything socialize in Edo Street. Maybe from 4 or 5 o'clock till late. Then again, the museum grand, you know, Ring Road there, we'll have the food village. Have all the Itilu come and come with their food cuisine and other state, and they'll make food there and sell. So you have different food cuisine, you know, at Museum Grand.
I think you have a full program. Let me ask you a question. Let's. I know you're going to tell us the diaspora, and this is the juicy part coming. But in terms of capturing economic advantage, we are building up to this. You know, we had the Edo Fest, now we're having the NAFEST. Is there a figure to say this amount was injected into Benin because of this festival?
Well, are you talking about? Yeah, it is a lot of money because the state government, now we needed to renovate the cultural center, for example, so you can't quantify how much
The state government has spent.
It's going to run into hundreds of millions because, first of all, that is a masterpiece for the state, you know, which needs to be renovated and brought to start. It was abandoned for a very long time. The roads are being fixed. You know, if you go to Sokunbaro Junction, by Edo Street is fixed. You go to road as well. So
There was a program about the statues in Benin.
yes, that went viral. Immediately I came into office 3 years ago, I noticed it and I told the governor that we need to fix those things, even before preparing for NAFEST. You know, it was an eyesore. It's been there for many years and people just overlook it and all that. So the governor asked me to work with, speak to the Commissioner for Environment, so my sister, Dame Dani Bako, very thorough,
Soundly.
hard-working lady. So we worked together, put our heads together, and because of her influence, because she's worked with in Lagos state government, and she knows a lot of people, and she was able to talk to the MD or chairman of Zenith Bank. You know, Zenith Bank actually fixed the statue about 20 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
originally.
Yes, originally. So we were able to reach out to them. She spoke to them and went to Lagos. You know, did a letter to them, and he came, did all the discussions and all that, and they agreed to fix it. So not just renovating it, we said give them standard, and we discussed with them that they're going to renovate. Maintain that place for 5 years. So if you go to Benin now, they are all fixed. I'm surprised that you're not aware.
I'm very surprised.
It was on social media, and we have about 58,000 views and 250 something shares once it was on our ministry's Facebook page.
All the statues around Benin?
Everything.
Okay.
Around the Obavora square. And as far as the Yarrow, which is my great grandfather.
let's come back. Let's come back to NAFEST. Commissioner, you know, we must thank you for taking your busy schedule to come and talk to us about this NAFEST, you know, and now you have the floor to maybe explain to members of the diaspora the benefits. You know, you're inviting us to come over, you know, and maybe later this one, you know, but at least inform us so that if you will be hosting next year or we will go somewhere
No, I
else.
have to go to another state next year. A lot of states are bidding for it now. Ekiti is called the Director General, Tumba Ronsowe, who is a very hard-working, very proactive, very dogged leader, somebody that I admire so much. He's the Director General of National Council for Art and Culture, you know, Tumba Ronsowe, based in Abuja. The man is a very good man, very hard-working man, so, and a national figure as well. So he's told me that a lot of states are putting pressure on him to host the next edition. Ekiti State, for example, Kaduna and other states are putting pressure on him just because of the hyping or the vibe that they're getting from Edo.
But they're not.
And it's gone viral. So
They don't have a rich culture as the Edo people today.
you know, but every tribe have their own culture. Well, the last year in Port Harcourt was very rich, and after the event, His Excellency, the governor of Rivers State, Wike,
Yes.
you know, said he wants to host again this year. So because he's never seen how united his people could be during that 1 week period. How peaceful, there was no crime, there was no fight, you know, everybody were happy regardless of political and religious affiliations. So, I mean, culture really brings people together, and it saw the benefits, saw the economic value of that and the joy that it brought to our people. So, this is good that it's happening. I'm happy that it's happening during that time, and the governor is very happy about it.
It's great.
It's a blessing to the state.
I'm thinking about moving the National Festival for Arts and Culture to the diaspora. Maybe not the whole thing, but Nigeria has full representation of all tribes that are participating at home here in the diaspora. You know, I'm sure we'll talk to your ministry about that, but for now, Commissioner, please take time to officially invite these people and then tell us that it's only, if you don't come this year, it won't be in Edo State, you know, for some time. Please, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, you know, I'm a very realistic person. I think apart from people that have been aware of this and people that are really, flexible with their time, NAFEST is about a month from now, which is October. And if you have not booked your ticket, if you're not flexible, I think it will really be difficult. But you can still partake in it. You can send your services, your product, your goodwill messages. We're going to have magazines and all that for people to, make an impact. Yes, it's not going to happen in Edo next year, definitely not. And I don't know when else it's going to come to Edo.
We do feel.
But we'll see. I think, by the grace of God, we can always push for it. You never can say never. Governor Osaze is only 3 years in office now, and this is happening this time. And by the time he come back, by the grace of God, the second tenure, who knows? We can still lobby for this to come back.
It's a beautiful festival, and the concept and everything. So you've heard from the commissioner to say, if you can't make this one, Edo State will not be hosting it next year. For now, they might still be hosting it under the this governor's administration, but next year they won't be hosting it. And if you want to advertise your business, magazines and stuff, that's available. Can I just ask, members of the diaspora who will be attending, there might be 1 or 2 persons. Is there any particular sort of representation to say these are members of the diaspora from the UK, from the US?
My Edo cultural ambassadors are coming.
Okay.
What we intend to do is to have everybody, every visitors, every Edo person from the diaspora that will be around will have a platform to parade around, be led by the cultural ambassadors like Joseph Giabuso in UK, Bossef Agbemi in France, Isokan Ibia from Toronto, Canada.
You have a lot of ambassadors.
So those of them that will be around, will lead all the Edo people and just showcase themselves. The same way I'm doing with the artists, the entertainers, the Edo entertainers, artists in Lagos, in diaspora. They're going to have an opportunity to parade themselves and be introduced and recognized during the period.
Speaking of artists, there's always been, the low of voices, the complaints that most festivals that take place in Benin City do not look in the direction of the Edo State entertainers for entertainment. Is this the case with NAFEST?
Well, NAFEST is a national event where we are the host state, and we are the local organizing committee. I'm the local organizing committee chairman. It's a national event being hosted by a state, but actually it's owned by the national. It's
a federal. Is it like a federal?
Culture. Yeah, it's a federal event. National NCAC, National called Arts for Culture.
Okay.
And headed by Otumba Rosawe, National Council for Art and Culture, NCAC. So what they do is, as a host state, we use the opportunity to showcase our people.
Yeah.
People will always complain, Lance. They always complain. If immediately I came in, they've come and said us something that they'll be carried along. But I tell them that, we'll give you opportunity to showcase yourself. Everybody wants the best.
Yes.
You can't expect me to say because I want to patronize my own and leave, a better one out there.
An ambassador.
Or something, and have a local one. So opportunity is definitely to showcase yourself. Or when you come to tell us, how come we are paying people from Lagos some millions and data is here, we're giving them peanuts. So, but you're not the same rating. Those people have worked hard, they've been in Lagos, they pay more bills, they stay there, or diaspora and all that. So it's not the same, but we always give everybody. Like I said, that 5 days event, the local Edo entertainers are going to be involved every day. So no matter how small, we give them opportunity to shoot. I've done that anyway.
In the past?
Yes. 2016 we did that, 2017 was the same. During the last two, Alawodaro, the governor's annual
that's another one that
exactly, Alawodaro, we always give them opportunity. And the government insists that they have to be local Edo artists. And even though you don't want to use the local ones, if you bring anybody from Lagos, they have to be Edo origin. And that's what we've always done.
There's an evident information flow. I think we'll talk about that off camera because many things we need to know are not being communicated back to us. But still on the subject of NAFEST and people coming to Benin from all over, our condolences go out to the flood situation. As a member of the government, I don't know how will this affect you, or will this be taken care of, or is this not in the central part of Benin before?
No. I mean, it affected Salvito Wefo's art gallery, which is a tourist site or tourist place for us as a ministry, and I was there, to see him and commiserate with him because of what happened and all that. Because the government action is swinging to action to take care of all those things. What actually happened is a blockage of drainage, apart from the water storm project and every other thing that happens. And like I said on my interviews, that they say charity begins at home. We need to start cleaning our environment. We're here in the UK now, you can't see people throwing something on the street.
No.
You can't see any plastic littering everywhere.
No.
But go to Benin, after party, they throw pure water, sachet water, bottled water everywhere. And those things, they don't decay. They don't decay. They go into the drainage, they stay there forever. So those are things that block the drainages. I know there's need for the government to desilt, but our people need to know that if they keep their environment clean, if they keep the immediate gutter in their environment clean, they are helping themselves, not just the government. What happened, rain falls every time.
It was the same in Texas for different reasons.
And again, they build illegal structures on drainages and moats and all those places that water normally flow. People will just go there and put a building there without proper approval. So those are things that really affect drainage. And don't forget again, Lance, there's climate change as well. It happens in the UK, it happens in America, it happens everywhere. So, I mean, everything happens, they're not saying it's government, it's government must do this.
No, I take a different view. I like this administration because there's a lot of positive work being done. If you, may I say, maybe an educated, person, an enlightened person, you would appreciate it. But do you hear all these grumblings, that they can't see anything, they can't because things take time?
It's expected, it's political. If anybody that is not happy with the government, especially see what's happening even within the party structure now, those people that feel they are not part of this government, there's nothing good they see in the government. No matter how good the governor has done in terms of education, look at the Edo Best program for our children, look at the infrastructure that the governor has built, look at their offices, look at everything that the man has done. Nobody sees. It surprises me when people come on and say the man is not doing anything. I'm saying this because I'm very privileged to be part of the government. So I'm not saying this because I'm working for him. I'm saying this with facts.
He's working.
Seriously. It's a continuum. Government is continuum. When Adams Oshomole was there, he did a lot. His Excellency Adams Oshomole did a lot of work. Because I left the country about 98, and I think in 2000 when I started coming back, I saw the difference.
Oshomole was in power.
Yes, and when I came in 2011, that was the first time I met Oshomole. I saw what he did. I saw how they've transformed the state. The roads that they did, the roof and everything. So when he came again, I said, well, this is the person that he needs to support, that needs to take over from him, which is our governor, Governor Obaseki. We all followed him and jumped at it, and the man is doing his work. My office in Benin, for example, now is better than offices that we live here.
You told us.
You see the building, the infrastructures, look at the roads. Yes, fine, fair enough. Most of these roads is bad. But most of these roads that they're complaining about are roads that have been done by NDDC anyway. It's not the state government.
It's not the state government's project.
NDDC projects are very bad, poor. So when it comes, anything that goes by the state, the government. And unfortunately, there are people that are not happy with him. Don't just see anything good at all that he's doing.
There is total. I would not even wait. Every time I speak to a government official and I come close to this current administration, I see there's an information gap that is useful to calm the people. Mm-hmm. But speaking about Edo Best, since the summit, a few members of the Edo diaspora have been home. They were very impressed with the government. Yeah. I think when even the expectation, because of how well the government performed, was exceeding. They expected to enter Benin look like paradise. Mm-hmm. First, let me ask about the update on the Edo Best launch that the governor was due to come back here to launch in September this month.
Yeah.
Is that still happening?
Yeah. What actually happened was. After our meeting in June, You know, and the reception that the governor got here, he was very excited, very happy with the response from that event, the Edo Summit, and he promised that we're going to come in June. In September. So we're actually working on it. I did a memo to him, but he's been very busy. As I speak to you now, the tentative date I would put was today. Yesterday, 21st of September, which he approved. Is that he was going to travel with the president to the 74th edition of the United Nations, which they've gone now.
Okay.
So that was why this was cancelled. So, there's so many activities going on, and it's very difficult to try and pin him down to say, okay, let him come here. Last month, he was in America as well. For the Edo National Convention.
But will we be having the Edo Best anytime soon?
No, what he wants us to do is, he said we need to make it bigger than just a local summit. So what I've planned is that when we get back to you to have a Europe summit, just like the same thing they have in America.
Yes.
So they'll get every other country involved in it. If we can plan that between maybe January, before the elections.
When is the election season?
No, I think primary starts around April, May. But for now, election, let me tell you, it started the politics with all the heat and everything that is going on. So, because the governor is building an institution and he's looking beyond 10 years, 20 years for Edo State. You see, last month, they said they were in Abuja, where they went for the federal vacation. And what came in for the first time, the money they got from maybe IGR or other areas was higher than what's generated from oil revenue. And that's the first time in 50 years. So the governor has foreseen that in the next few years, the country is going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So he's making it proactive, being proactive now to look at getting, putting Edo ahead, so that by the time we get to that stage, Edo will still be balanced, to be relaxed. He's an economist.
Even if he's not in power.
Yes, he's looking beyond. He keeps telling us we need to build an institution. He's not just doing government around us, and by the time we leave, there's a vacuum. No. Anything he does is okay, projection, 10 years time, 20 years time, this is what we need to start doing. And that is the problem, because he said instead of us eating the seed now and forgetting about the future, let's nurture the seed, have a tree and have enough fruits for Edo people to go around to eat. So that is it.
Let me ask, we got you here, we're talking about NAFEST. In case you missed it, we're still going to have a recap on that. But Commissioner, there's so much back and forth in the political space in Edo State right now. To say Oshomole is this, Shea is this, and to the next day you see Oshomole and the governor together again. As someone who is inside and you progressively every day you're taking steps, we're going to NAFEST now. Commissioner, with all the beautiful things we see in the state, up and down, members of the diaspora don't quite know what to make of the friendship with the current governor and the past governor, Adams Oshomole. Now that you're here, can you calm our minds down and draw a line in the sand and say there's no need to worry or there's cause to worry?
Well, I think if I say there's no need to worry and it doesn't go well tomorrow, you say, Commissioner, lie. Yeah. Again, if I say, there's need to to worry and say just tomorrow the same thing. So, but I think first of all we need to pray, for our state. Every concerned individual from Edo State need to pray for the state. We need to pray for the development of that state, because the state is number one, it's key for everybody. And we need to pray for the governor, because it means well for the state.
It's evident.
Yeah, so, and I keep telling people, by the time the governor, like I said, a few months ago, finishes 8 years in office, by the grace of God, that most of you will relocate back home to Edo.
We hope so.
That I can tell you, because when you see a visionary person, that means well for the state. And like I said, I'm saying this, I'm privileged to be serving in this government, because I'm writing my name in gold as well. Being part of it. But I think it means well.
From the outside looking in, it is a reputable administration.
Yeah.
And now. We come back to NAFEST now. I tell you what is shocking for me. First of all, the NAFEST next year will not be held in Benin. The NAFEST festival does not belong to Edo people. It's a national festival. So let's think of future festivals that you have within your catalog that you think the diaspora and other people can participate in, early enough?
There's a lot of activities. Again, the Oba of Benin has a lot of festivities that goes on in the palace. On the 20th of October, apart from NAFEST, is celebrating his 30 years anniversary and his birthday as well. So it's going to be inviting a lot of people coming to Edo that period. So he's very happy that this is happening during NAFEST.
Can we partner with you to ensure we also,
anybody that is around, anybody from diaspora that is around, we go. Just come and meet me. I'll take you to the palace on the 20th. Then on the 24th of October, we're doing the Royalty Day. All the guests from NAFEST is going to go to the palace and pay homage to our Oba.
On the 24th
of October. Yes. Okay. So that's part of the plan again. And, we have a great festival coming up this year.
December.
So people can partake in that because it's an annual event. The Oba always celebrates the Igwe festival. So those are activities that we're looking at. I'm thinking of doing an Edo Fest, maybe just in a low scale after doing this. So it will be very... energy sapping to do Edo Fest the way we did it again, but we'll just do something, maybe a day or two to market. Then next year, we'll look at the calendar of all the activities and all that. And again, you need to like the ministry's Facebook page, the Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism and Diaspora Affairs. So all the activities always come locked up. They will print out the calendar of all the festivities for the year. Our website is there as well. There's a website for this.
But hold it up.
Yeah. It's www.nafest.edofest.ng. So all the information that you need are there. For those coming, you can link up there and book your hotel reservation from the website. We have our partners hotels there. Go straight to their link up to their website and you do your booking. So there will be a discount price, discounted fare for you as well. For people that are coming. So once you mention NAFEST or Magda, which is the Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism, you get a discounted price in the hotels that you're going to stay. So it's going to be all fun and,
Thank you. Thank you. Ambassadors will be around to take you around. Commissioner, just before we round up, next year we also plan to have some, maybe not so big festivals here, but we would like to involve your ministry because I think it just nails the culture once we call you in.
Yeah, that's fine. We have do cultural ambassadors. Yeah. And whatever we need to do, work together and give enough time. Again, next year is going to be very busy, very, very busy. That is the election year
for the big one.
For Edo State government. Without politics, you can't be government.
No.
Government and all that. So I think we'll walk around things and see what we can do next.
Thank you for coming. And please, any members of the diaspora, if you are free between the 19th of October and the 26th of October, be in Benin City.
Be there.
NAFEST. Thank you.